offer. Building up our savings account to, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. Now, obviously, in the course of a week or so, or however long you've taken to do the last lesson to this, you probably haven't had enough time to actually build up to that 6 months worth of savings that we would like to see. And that's perfectly fine. But right now, what we want to do is give you some strategies and some ideas, and we want you to begin to think about practical things you could do if some of these things we talked about in the last lesson, like a car breaking down, like an accident, a medical bill, home repair, if some of these things were to happen to you today, what can you do? Obviously, you're making preparations right now, and you're doing the hard work. You've started to build your budget. You've started your savings. Maybe you went out and got a side job or a side hustle, which is awesome, and I congratulate you for that. But I know you've been doing the hard work. You've really been digging in. You've been asking God, to help you. You've been asking Him how to do things and give you strength. And that's what we need to do, is we need to lean on Him. But we also need to lean on the wisdom that He's giving us. So in this session, we're going to talk about some practical things that you can do if those things would arise. Now, what I want you to do is go with me through this lesson. We're going to look at a couple scenarios, and we're just going to walk through what it would look like practically, what you should do, or give you some ideas of things that you can do. So the first thing we're going to do is imagine that your car breaks down. So the majority of us drive vehicles, and the majority of us don't have the money to buy a brand new vehicle every year. So the chances of our vehicle breaking down or needing some type of repair is very high. So we want to look at this scenario. Let's pretend that we have a car and something broke on it, whether the muffler fell off or the tires went flat or anything. So that is unexpected expense, right? What can you do? Well, the first thing you're going to do is probably go, what am I going to do? But really, what the first thing we want to do is for you to go to your budget first and look at where all your finances are. That's why we've been working on the budget. See what extra funds you have. And then once you've done that, align that up with the savings account that you've been building. And let's, hope that there's enough money in your savings account to offset that repair expense. But if not, that's not the end of the world, right? Because things do happen. So let's say that you don't have enough savings. Let's pretend the repair is $500. You get $300 in your savings. Your credit cards are almost maxed out. You might have a little bit left on a credit line. That is where you have to really start to dig in and think, all right, let me not freak out about this. We don't want to be in fear like, oh no, we can't pay for this. Let's think of creative ways of things we can do to pay for that repair. So the first thing is remain calm, look at our budget, look at our savings, allocate the portion of your savings that you can towards that repair. The next thing is look at your full budget and your monthly expenses and see if there's something in there that you can live without this month. Maybe it's plans that you've got, your family was going to go out for a weekend somewhere. Maybe you have to cut that out this month, right? Just 1 month, so you have the money to do that. But say you're already at the max, you budgeted diligently, and there is no money, right? Okay. The next thing is if maybe you're younger, or you have a good relationship with your parents or a brother or sister, ask them if you could borrow the money from them and talk with them, about, hey, I'll pay it back, set the terms. Remember, you set the terms. I'll pay it back and I'll give you a little bit of money extra, like an interest payment. So it's like you're really showing them, you respect them, you're appreciating that they're loaning you the money, and then you're going to pay them back with something. Now, the chances are, and the hopes are, they'll say, no, don't worry about it. Just give me back when you can. And talk to them about when you will be able to pay them back. Let's put a time on it. If you know that you're getting paid in 3 weeks and you'll have the money. Hey dad, I'll be able to pay you that money back. Or hey brother, I'll be able to pay you that money back in 3 weeks, and I'll give you an extra, $20 or something for it, for your time. I really appreciate it. So that is one strategy that you can employ to not go onto a credit card. So remember, putting anything on a credit card is going to be your last choice. We don't want to put anything on our credit cards if we don't have to. So we want to look at the different things that we can do before we make that decision to go swipe that card. So if there is not a friend or family member that is not able to loan you that money, then that's when you're going to have to either maybe look at a local charity or something, maybe a church or something like that that has like a benevolence fund, for instance, and then maybe they provide assistance for things like this that could happen. That's another strategy.
Hey, is this video bringing you value? Take a second to like it. It actually helps other people to be able to see this message. And if you're new here, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, click the notification button, that way you don't miss any of our live sessions. We're always dropping real practical wisdom to help you take control of your finances and grow your wealth God's way. And if you're ready to go deeper, I want to personally invite you to join the Seeds program. It is a step-by-step system to help you break free of financial stress, grow in generosity, and learn how to walk in financial freedom. The link will be below in the description. Now let's get back into the G.
But if all else fails and there's just nothing else you could do, the reality is you have to do what you have to do to get your car back working. So if you have to put on that credit card, make a commitment to yourself that as soon as you have that money coming into your paycheck, you will take that extra money that you just put on that credit card. And I'm not talking about the debt snowball we've been talking about and paying down. But no, if it's $200 you just put on that credit card, make a conscious effort to pay that $200 off before the end of the month so it does not accrue any interest and it doesn't cost you anything to put it on that credit card. But that's the last resort. Let's hope that some of these other things will work ahead of time. So the next thing, let's look at a medical bill. This is something that we all face, right? They come up, we have to pay a medical bill, and they're usually not cheap. I haven't found a hospital yet that's a bargain. So here's some things that you could do if a medical bill comes up and you don't have enough money in your savings. Remember, go to your budget, go to your savings, check to see what you have available. If you don't, it's okay. First thing is you could do is negotiate with the hospital on the price of that bill. Many times, my family, me included, have called the hospital and said, hey, I cannot afford to pay this much. Will you accept this much, or what's the lowest you'll take? And 9 times out of 10, the hospital will write off a certain percentage of that hospital bill. So you can negotiate the bill down at the hospital, which is incredible, right? You're getting, a lot of the times they're overcharging for a lot of things anyway, in my opinion. But nevertheless, they will allow you to write things off. You just have to call. You might have to call 1, 2, 3 times to get this to happen, but it will happen. Now also, you can request financial assistance through hospitals. You could request a payment plan that works within your budget. If you could only afford $25 a week or $50 a month, tell the hospital administrator when you're meeting with them, like, listen, I don't have any more than this. This is all I can pay. And set up a payment plan with them. That's a couple strategies you could use for a hospital bill. Now, job loss. This is a big one, and I know this affects a lot of people, and I don't wish this on anybody. But if a job loss were to happen, you really have to start thinking, what would I do? And I want you to start thinking about this now, today. Like, start planning, if this would happen, this is how I'm going to deal with it. Number 1, we go to our budget, we go to our savings account. That's why we want to build it up to at least 6 months. So if a job loss would come, we will be able to withstand the shock from it to our family. The first thing you're going to do is, if there is a job loss, if the company offers some form of a severance package or something, request it. That's like the main thing. Ask, your HR department, can you give us some severance, a few weeks, a month, whatever it is. That's number one. The number two thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to unemployment. You're going to file for your unemployment insurance so you could restart receiving unemployment benefits. So if you're in the United States, we have an unemployment system. So you'll be able to apply for unemployment, so you'll receive benefits. So you'll at least have some income coming in during the course of that job loss. There's another thing that you could do is, this might be the time where it's like, I got to get creative.